Hello and welcome back to the 10th Pint Podcast. We're here with me, Luke, as normal, and Michael.
Alright.
We also have special guests, Finn and Sarah from Stone.
Hi.
Hello.
So we normally take it back to the start. How did you just both start getting into music?
Myself, I started playing music when I was about... I think actually, I wanted to be like a pop star when I was like 6 or 7, but then I couldn't play an instrument or could sing. I think I used to sing end-dubs in the mirror when I was a kid. Then eventually when I was like 13, I was on holiday and I was thinking younger, I was just like 11, 12, and I picked up a guitar and my dad taught me A sharp, was it A and then A minor, like the happy sad, and then from there I learned wild thing, wild thing, you make my heart sing. That's what I learned.
Yeah, no, I remember I don't know actually. I was probably about 8 when I started playing guitar. I literally only picked up bass when I was probably in like year 10 of school. And I think the first song...
You're bad at guitar.
Shut up. First song I learned was like Aerials by System of a Down. I was one of those little emo chicks that got brought up on like metal from my dad and like funk from my mum. So it's quite fun.
My dad just listened to Captain Beefheart, just old blues. My dad went through a weird phase of just growing a massive beard out and being all hippie-ish when he was like... It's like when I was like 8 and he just played blues music to me all the time.
I like that. Respectable.
Yeah.
So when did you start like writing? Who actually writes the songs first of all?
Myself.
Do you?
Yeah. So do you want me to mention how I write them?
With a pen?
Yeah, with a pen.
Go on, lads.
Nah, on my iPhone notes, I just, right? I wrote my first song when I was 15. I remember it was so bad. It was like, I don't know, why did you have to go? Just so simple. And I wrote it in school with me and a lad called Dom. He had this long ginger hair and we recorded it and I was like, wow, I need to start a band. And then I wrote loads of different types of songs. Obviously I started off listening to loads of Oasis, so I started writing like a bit like a wannabe Oasis cover band.
Yeah.
And Stone Roses cover band, and then, but I'll get onto Stone. I went through that as a band called the Bohos. With Stone, I started writing in a way like, I started realising I was better writing in like a sense of just telling it as it was instead of trying to be so metaphorical. I could be metaphorical, but like I was better at just getting on my notes and just rambling, and that's how I wrote Leave It Out. I remember walking down the road, head up on my pace on the outer shell, all seems calm, but the eyes look jaded. He's prone to being locked to his phone, but I'll tell you, my brother, he ain't no clone. And that was when I'd just been to Rob Swerdlow, who's our manager now, and was like, I was trying to show him new songs, and he said he was just going, Finn, it doesn't quite seem real. Like, everything you're showing me is all right, but it needs to be real. I need to believe what you're saying. I need to believe what you are, and you're not striking me. Like, at the time I was in like a bit like I was trying to be in this moody kind of bit more emo-ish band, and he was like, it's not real. And when I walked home, this just kind of spewed up out of me, and from there now, constantly in my iPhone notes, I've just got like little raps and notes. Like, I'll spit some to you later on if you want. Just got these notes, just these bars, like about everything which goes on. So now I write the songs, and then I try not to play guitar as much as I can, and then I come to these, and these will kind of write a music. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sarah's only been in the band for like 4 months, so
yeah.
I gave her a bit of advice with bass lines to start with, but now she's rambling them out as well.
No, whenever I write music, it like bass lines like strike me like 2 minutes before I'm fully about to fall asleep, and I just have to make that decision of like, oh, shall I get up in the like pitch black darkness and work it out, or shall I just forget it and go to sleep?
She can only write in the studio. She's one of them. She only writes when the red light's on.
What's like the sort of inspiration behind the songs? Like you just mentioned Leave It Out. What are you trying to say in the song?
I still think I'm just a massive narcissist when I write songs. I think I'm just great at telling you about my life. I listen to a lot of the streets. I listen to a lot of hip hop, and Mike Skinner, I just love the way he used to be able to just express things in such a real way. Like, have you ever heard what's the song? Do you know Geezers Need Excitement?
Yeah.
I love that song because it was just like, he'll just go into detail about things that you never even thought about. Like, do you know, even he keeps telling different stories, and about like throwing the chips across the counter, and this guy, you know, is never going to be the Jackie Chan scene it could have been. And I used to just love the way he wrote like that. And I kind of just wanted to write like that, but I never felt like I could because, like, I'm a Jewish lad from Liverpool, do you know what I mean? It's like you don't really see lads like me writing bars, do you know what I mean? And my dad was in a Britpop band, and do you know what I mean? And it's like, I didn't think it was really in my blood to write like a bit more like that, but then I guess I just kept messing up in life. I got arrested last week myself, but I just kept getting. I got put in the cell last week. Do you know what I mean? And I keep messing up.
Can we ask you what you've done, or should we leave that there?
We'll tell you. We'll get onto that one later. This is why I haven't drank for 6 months. So I just kept realising whenever I got drunk, I just kept funny stuff kept happening. So, like even keep running. You know, I was like, I wanted to quit smoking. That's why I said, like, out of breath, walking down the street, nicotine fever, bleeding out my teeth. I want to stop, my lungs condemn it. You can only stop when you admit that you're an addict. And at that moment, I was like, I guess I'm an addict. And then I stopped. So, you know what I mean? But all my songs just come from that place where some of them can be political, some of them can be frustrated, some of them can be about, like, family things. Some of them could just be, like, about being blasted in town. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just making up words. Like, I had a song called Cupidor where I just made the word up. And just scream it in the
What's
chorus.
it called, sorry?
Cupidor. So
What does it mean?
I don't know. I think Cupid is in like love, and then door, which I found out was like a nickname for the beetle that rolls around in poo. So it's like love shit. Do you know what I mean? So Cupidor, love shit. Do you know what I mean? So doesn't have to make too much sense, but yeah. From there, my songwriting process, I'm still figuring out myself, because I used to write. I can either write really, really like ballad-esque type of songs. I write with acoustic guitar and I'll sing and hit every note on the spectrum. But then, like, you've heard them, haven't you? Where I've written really soft acoustic songs, and then some of them are just like, I can either write really soft acoustic songs, or they're like, so this, that, and then lemonade on a cheesecake on Sundays. Do you know what I mean? Aliens in the night sky. I don't know. I wasn't being smart enough to go out there. Do you know what I mean? No, yeah, but even that Cupidor, the first lyrics go, enters 4 girls with phones in their hands, here to impress the fans on a love life Instagram. No harm in what they do, it's not criminal, but I see like 2 words spoken with 5-minute intervals, and then it just starts screaming the word Cupidor. It's just like, it doesn't tie into anything.
Does that just come to you? Like that, like that sentence there? Do you have to think
I was sat in
about
motel. I
places?
sat in motel, just seeing it and just went, that's all I do. Sometimes I can't do it. Sometimes I need to try and write it. I just can't. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know, right, so is it normally broken up into like different parts of the song then? Rather, like, you don't just write a
Sometimes I'll
song.
just mash like 5 poems together. Yeah. Like sometimes in the songs, like, you know, if you hear Keep Running, the middle 8 will keep running, going walking, talking, television's boring. Do you know where that came from?
No.
Alex, our drummer, he wrote that. Like, it's like a uni needed his university needed like a song. So because I was like doing loads of like poetry, he just decided to make a rap where he goes, the man don't got what the man don't need, the man don't talk and the man don't see, he said, don't forget blind, and he goes, walking, talking, television's boring, and I went, that's boss. And honestly, keeps you up that early in the morning. I was like, I'm putting that in the new song, and he's like, no, you're not, lad. And I was like, yeah. So I put it in the song, and everyone thinks it's just like this deep moment, when really it's just Smithy just like making some rap for this uni. I need to get it up. I'll send it to you. It's like, the man don't want what the man don't need, the man can't sort.
Did you rap on it, on his song?
No,
Was it
no,
him?
he's
Did
rapping.
he do it himself?
Yeah, I've got it on my phone. I need to show you. He's just rapping. God. He's just rapping, and our drummer's just like, he's not that. He's just a funny dude. And I love Alex. And then I was like, I'm putting that in a song, and then the Keep Running came, and obviously I'm talking about. Then I was like, it fits in with being like me having a conversation with my own brain. And it's like that's what I did. I ended up using. Do
you have conversations with yourself, do you?
All the time, mate. All the time. I'm the least schizophrenic, I'm the most schizophrenic, non-schizophrenic. Do you know what I mean? You know, no disregard to that, but like that's why I'm constantly sitting there going, either I just can't stop. Like either I'm just great at having conversations with myself, or there's just 3 me's inside of me. Do you know what I mean? I'm possessed by the devil.
So, what age, like, with Stone? So, first of all, what was your other band called?
The Bohos.
When did you start gigging with them?
I was 15, so like 5 years ago.
Where was like?
She was in the room back then, mate. we started gigging with them. We supported some good bands. We supported Night Cafe. We supported DMAs. We did some great stuff. We did all right. But then that was when Rob was like, "Finn, this isn't real. Like you just having a crack at being in the band."
Yeah.
And I had some moments at the song called Gaffmaster where I kind of did a bit of talking. But from there, I was like, it was a fella called Gary who he tour managed Inhaler. He was like, because my name's Finley Stone Power. Because my Stone's my mum's last name. He was like, I was like, I'm trying to get away from the last name Power. I don't want to be everyone. I want to be different to it. And he was like, why don't you just call it Stone? And I was like, and Stone. And I was like, sat there. And I was like, yeah. And then I was like, I pitched it to the lads, and they were like, oh, but are you going to be centre of attention? That's when it was a different basis back then. A lad called Ian, who's still one of my dearest friends. He's a barber now.
Yeah.
He hasn't got a barber shop, so I can't shout him out like. You know what I mean? Yeah, but he started Stone, and I was like, yeah. But then when I pitched it to them, it was like, it's going to be something new where I kind of talk more about my life experiences, but we are a band. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They loved it, and that's what we went from there. And then Sarah joined.
Wait.
Sazzle. She came in, and I think she was the best addition of the band because.
How did that come about? You joining?
Well, I go to uni with Alex as well, and I just heard from a tutor that you guys were looking for a bassist, and they just hooked us up, and I turned up to the first practice. You guys, it was so funny. I remember you scared the crap out of me that first practice.
I was like dancing. I wasn't why because I was like jumping about.
You know, you were just like so intense. I was like,
just sick. I was just sick of like anyone messing me about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just so I can't like. She came in and she was like, can I stay in my other band? I was like, no, you have to leave all bands. You're only in this band.
Yeah.
It's like our management's looking at us. This when we went working with Starwood. It's like a management's looking at us. I've been trying to get this guy to manage us for years. He's been a bit being like, I've been trying to work hard. I was like, either you're in or you're out. And in that practice, I was like jumping all about, and I was kind of really making sure she realised that this is serious. Like Stone ain't just some joke, man. Like Plan B's try harder. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Plan C's world domination. Like we're like the national anthems, just like leave it out. And Sarah's the president. I'll be locked up by then.
How did you and the other lads meet then? And like,
I met Elle because his ex-bird was my mate.
oh,
He was our guitarist, Elliot. I met Alex when we were looking for a new drummer, and he was just the best drummer I knew. But he was like, we were both like, I was like, me and Alex were looking back. I don't know how we thought we were cool back then. We were just both we were just such an uncool band. I used to wear like these Hawaiian shirts on stage and like dance around like that, thinking I was great. I went from being like some little scouser riding around on me GT to like starting a band, like going Hawaiian shit on stage, thinking like I was gonna make it just from like nodding my hair back and forth. You know what I mean? And then Alex was amazing at drums, but he was just a funny little sausage, and Elle had this dyed blonde hair, and he just looked funny. And eventually I think we all had a lesson on how to become slightly cooler. Not cool, slightly cooler. And then eventually we got Sarah, which everyone was like, did you mean to get a girl in the band? And we were like, nah, honestly. Everyone thinks it's like some tactical thing. I don't know if Sarah's brought the cool level up though. Not because she's a female, because she's cool. And she's from Oxford.
Shut up. I don't sound like that.
I think you do. Have you had a vote? Yeah.
So, like, what's your favourite gig so far? Now, first of all, have you, like, gigged with the band because you've only been here 4 months? Like, just before lockdown,
Yeah,
was
she's
it?
gigged.
Just literally only done like 5 gigs, and then
we were all belted though.
yeah, they were sick. I really liked them.
We supported Rats.
Yeah,
did a
Factory.
show with Joe Talbot from Idols, Sean Ryder from Happy Mondays. Did some decent shows.
What was he like? Was a bloke?
Sean Ryder.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell you, he doesn't talk to anyone, but like literally, he turns like, I was like, I want to meet Sean, and then we turned up to the show, and he rocks up in like a car, gets out the car, does what he needs to do, and gets back out, doesn't even look at you. I guarantee we could support him, like we could do 100 dates with him, and he wouldn't even know who you are. He'd think you're a fan for all.
Don't you reckon he knows you supported him?
No.
Nah.
No.
Just him by himself or Happy Mondays?
Him by himself doing like he does like these Q&As, and you go on and
Yeah.
get a band. He wouldn't know who we are. He didn't even know. I doubt he even knew there's a band on before him. By the time we're off stage, everything's taken off stage. He comes in when everything's ready for him, and he leaves straight after. So
Bizarre.
it's that.
Yeah.
But you've been in that industry that long now.
I think he's just sick of it, mate.
Yeah.
Like I had a little rave with Bez, a couple of years back in a Snowdonia. That's the reason I remember the place, because he did a DJ set and I was behind the decks with him. And some fella called Peter, and he's going, Snowdonia, how are we? And he was going like, just playing Nirvana tunes on Spotify, going with his kid Arlo, who's actually boss DJ, like his kid. But it was just funny. And Sean turned up that day as well, and Sean just turned up and got off like. I remember he walked past, and I was like, I've met Sean about 5 times, but like, he still doesn't know what I look like.
Yeah.
He just walks past. Do you know what I mean? He'll talk to like me half. I'll talk to people he knows and then get off. Do you know what I mean? So that's about it.
Is there any other bands that have sort of like inspired you in terms of like either the sound of the music or even just the start of music?
Oh yeah, I guess Joy Division, New Order, Nirvana. I listen to a lot of Nas. Been listening to Tribe Called Quest.
Oh yeah.
What else? Who's on my thing? I love like old Dr. Dre. Do you know what I mean? I love everything. I love loads of hip hop, man.
That's quite surprising, really, though, because you're not a hip hop band.
Yeah, but I do a lot of spoken word. Do you know?
Yeah,
I kind of do talk. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is where the thing is, because I do spoken word. If you kind of listen to me, like if you listen to some of our newer songs, I do kind of, I won't say rapping, but I'm kind of talking. But there's hip hop influence in some of our newer stuff. But we are like a post punk band, but maybe we are a punk band with a lot of hip hop influence.
Yeah.
That's what I say. I say we're a punk band with hip hop influence. Yeah, we were quite an acquired taste. Yeah, if it's we're like math rock mixed in with jazz, and we only play 7-8 time signatures, but we only if we don't feel offended as well. Do you know what I mean?
You say your dad's music's influenced you at all?
I think the Lars influenced me. The Lars have definitely influenced me. Cast, I think what all Cast have done for me was when I was 7 years old, 8, when I was a young kid and I've seen my dad on stage, I used to look and go, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's all he's done for me. I used to look at my dad and I was like, obviously, when he come off stage, and I used to play guitar and I used to sing with him when I was younger, and I used to watch him play guitar and I used to look at him and go, I want to do that. That's definitely, I think that planted the seed, watching my dad and my dad's mates, because my dad's mates are obviously all artists as well, do you know what I mean? And when I was younger, meeting like Liam and people like that, and just like, but the Lars are a huge influence. I don't even like thinking my dad was in the Lars, I just love the Lars. I love them. That first album was you can't even rate it. It's just too good. You can't fault it. You can't even say you can't fault it. It's just something that's just so beautiful. Do you know what I mean? It's which I wouldn't say it's a massive inspiration for me. I think when I got, well, it is, but I think when I got into music, that became something which I realised, wow, and my family's a part of that. Wow, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But that's really it, to be honest. Like, I've asked me that questions about the Lars. Some stuff that he probably wouldn't want me to share. Do you know what I mean? It's some stuff, but yeah, I know some stuff about I know some stuff, and it's really, I'm a fan of the Lars, and that's all I am. It's all my dad is someone who was a musician, and he's someone who I can turn around to and go, Dad, what do you think of this? Or if I ask about management or labels or people who've spoke to me, he'll give me good advice.
Yeah.
He's quite good at telling me, giving me advice how to act with people. He always tells me to play cool. Play cool. I'm like, but he thinks he's cooler than he is now, I guess. Do you know what I mean? If he sees this, he'll be upset. But yeah, I think my dad is being definitely a seed planter. For that sounded wrong. He's a seed planter. Oh god. Innuendos all over the place. Yeah, I think he definitely was an inspiration. I'll bite me ego and say, yeah, I don't want to sit there and go, I'm my own man. I am my own man, and it takes me being my own man to admit that he's definitely inspiration. But he's not me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. As if anyone else is an inspiration. He's just as much an inspiration as John Lennon is. Do you know what I mean? John Lennon's a way more inspiration. That sounds wrong. I think he's just there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. He's just someone who was there.
We were talking earlier where you were saying, like, people probably think you get loads of help from that, and you're saying you don't.
Not one.
Do you want to explain, like,
I'd love to explain, to clear up. I'll clear up a few things as well, because people think recently we've been signed to Alan McGee's label as well, but we're not signed to that. Because even magazines, we've got some Radio 6, the signs out, so but I'll go into that one as well. My dad doesn't help me one bit. he doesn't. He knows how hard this industry is. He knows that. What's he gonna do? Go ring up a record label and go manage my, sign my son? It don't work. If that was the case, I would be signed on the way. My dad's does not sign to a label anymore. He's done his time. He's really the industry's moved on from John Power and Cass, and he's still got his fans and he's got his loyal fan base. But no, he can't help me. He doesn't write any. Even when I write songs, he doesn't listen to my songs and listen to a Cass tune. Like,
yeah, they are different.
they're not even. You can't even put them on the same genre. Like they're completely different, and there's no help he's given me there. Do you know what I mean? I've come to my own writing terms, and he says to me, I don't know where your writing's come from because it's nothing to do with me. What has my dad helped me with? Even when I supported DMAs and the Night Cafe, Night Cafe was because I became mates with the lads. DMAs was because I was a massive fan of them, and I went to their first show and asked
aren't we?
I asked if I could play guitar to them, and so I'm half good mates with Johnny now. Do you know what I mean? It's and the rest of them, I know them all. Whenever they come to Liverpool, I chill with them afterwards. Do you know what I mean? It's nothing to do with my father. Even White Lies, that was Isle of Life, selling shows out. The only thing that Cast have done for us is let us support Cast. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And no offense on Cast fans, but their demographic ain't really the young teens and do you know what I mean? Who like they aren't the people who are coming to our shows going to create mosh pits. They're an older generation who will buy our vinyls and do you know what I mean and shit like that. But Cast can't do much for us apart from I guess people might turn and go, oh, John's lad's in a band. But if we aren't good, people aren't going to turn. Like, our manager now knew who my dad was. And for years, he didn't manage us. He knocked us back for years. I kept sending him songs. It was heartbreaking. Came to our shows 2 years ago and just told us we weren't good enough as the Bohos. Heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's like if your dad's a footballer and you're not good at football, you're not going to be a professional footballer because your dad is, are you?
People got to realise this industry isn't luck. You can't. There ain't no shortcuts, and I've realised as I got older. I think I probably did expect. I don't know. I didn't expect, but I did think you could just, play a few songs, talk the talk, and you'll get somewhere. There's no cutting corners in this industry, and the more I realise it, you can't lie. You'll get caught with your pants around your ankles, and that's what I've learnt. You will get taken down to London, and those big press people will rip you to shreds. They'll eat you like a lion. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I've learnt that because I've seen it happen to people. Even family who've been in bands. Luckily, I've got a lot of advice. The one thing my dad has done is given me, which is priceless, is advice. Yeah. The advice that I have gotten off my dad and his friends is that you can't cut corners. You can't kid anyone. You can't pretend that you're doing well when you aren't. You can't claim you got 1 million fans when you haven't. You can't cut corners because you will get caught with your pants around your ankles or you'll sink.
I mean, you can see even more now just with like the Spotify stats and followers and that, how many fans you're having that. You can't say how we're smashing it.
People try to still though, man. People get Spotify farms and there's that, and people try to, or get a lot of people they know to follow you. But it's if you're not real, you can't fake it. You can't fake that you're something you're not. Do you know what I mean? I can't pretend to be some lad who goes out and blitzes town and writes songs about it when I haven't been in the past. Now I get up at 6 a.m. and walk my dog. Like, I've written a song, which I don't know if I might actually play that new song to you. I don't know if Rob would want me to, but I wrote a song. The first time I drank in 6 months was on the weekend, and I ended up in a cell, and I've written a song about it. Do you know what I mean? Apart from that, I've been writing about past experiences and just getting up in the day with morning and lockdown. But no, you can't. I'll stress this to any other band who watches this. The one thing I've learned from the last few years and from having a credible manager and a credible team around me and credible family who can give me advice is you cannot fake it. You can't cut corners. No one can help me. My dad can't. Even if my dad wrote me a song, do you not think everyone will know it's a Cash song? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Don't you think people will hear me writing them sounding like John Power? Do you know what I mean? I don't even dress like him. It's like there's nothing he can do for me apart from give me advice. Yeah. And apart from maybe, if I'm good enough, give me a contact. But that contact, any contact in the past he's gone. Like, his manager was Alan. Alan McGee managers, and now I showed Alan a few songs. Alan was like, yeah, Rob, he kind of actually, a couple of years ago, rejected. It was like, I don't want to work with your son. Then eventually, I met him at a festival when I was there with Jake Bug, and he offered me a deal there. We ended up not taking the deal with Alan McGee, because really, it was too close to home, too close to my dad. I didn't want to be in a record label where the guy manages my dad. I felt like that wasn't the route to success.
Did you used to manage your dad, or still does?
Alan McGee now manages my dad.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be signed to a label or someone who managed my dad, but because I knew that Alan McGee wants to put our songs out because they're good songs. I knew that it would eventually make us hit a ceiling where someone would not want to. People would just look down on it.
Yeah.
So I want to do it on my own. There's nothing you can do for me. I guess I'm sorry for leaving you side. There's not much you can say about this. Sarah's dad teaches jiu-jitsu.
Stop.
Yeah. What do you think about my dad? Yeah, that's about it. If I'm honest.
Yeah.
I can say about him. If that makes any sense, unless there's anything else you want to cover on that.
So you're going to give a piece of advice to a new band tomorrow. What would you say to them? Like the main one.
Don't fake it.
Don't
I
fake
know
it.
I sound like bloody Cheryl Cole telling you you gotta be true to yourself. But, like you've actually gotta be. You can't pretend to be something you're not, and that's the thing. If you're trying to do it, if you fancy dress, go on, be fancy dress. Do you know what I mean? Like some bands accept that, like they'll pretend to be something cooler than they are, but accept that that's what you are. You can't go out there and pretend to be something you're not, or write about something you're not. Like you've got to, because people are trained to see through you. These big media, these big, you know, agents and labels are trained to see through it, trained to see through any flaws in you.
Yeah, would you say like yourself with like your old bands and stuff like that? Would you say like you made like some mistakes?
Trying to be Joy Division.
Yeah.
Honestly, thinking I was Joy Division, trying to dress and having my hair slicked back, and wearing like a shirt on stage, and do you know what I mean? And I do that now when I'm going out for a night out and I want to look smart, but it weren't me. I'm staring at the crowd like this, trying to be like like. Now, when I'm on stage, I lose my marbles. I'll dive over the fence. Have you guys at Rats?
I was at Rats.
Did you see us play?
Yeah,
Yes, you know what I'm like on stage. You know what I mean? I lose my marbles, and I'm sober. I'm fully sober on stage. I'm having a great time. I just completely, and honestly, I have a pent up anger, which is just like I'm angry. I'm pissed off all the time. I'm pissed off. I feel like I have a lot to prove. People go to me, "Are you in a band because you love music?" 50% yes, 50% because I just want to prove who I am. I want to be on a pedestal, and do you know what, right? Is that, maybe that sounds horrible, but at least it's the truth.
Yeah.
You have to be like that though. You can't just put yourself down and expect yourself to be successful.
Yeah. I want to be heard. I want to be listened to. I want people to listen to what I'm saying, and that's why when I go on stage, I let it out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Why do you go on stage, Sarah? What's your advice for all the younger bands? She was in a younger band, and then we stole her.
Yeah, I remember after that first rehearsal with you guys, I literally got home. You dropped me home, and I literally messaged my old band like, "I'm sorry, guys."
Right, I took her for a goat cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
And told her how serious this is, and that if she ain't ready for it, she gotta. If you're not ready for it, you gotta step back.
Yeah. No, I love when we gig, but like 50% of my brain is concentrating on you and not smacking you in my face. It's like my brain is always like, "Where's Finn right now? Where's Finn?" You're
honestly,
just
I'll be
going
somewhere everywhere. Like when I get to a venue, I go, "Have you got the longest mic lead you can give me?" Do you know what I mean? And I love it. I get off stage and I'm the best place I could be, man. It's like I love it. And the advice is honestly, it's just like maybe you've got to go through a teething process of trying things out, because like, do I still think I've got place to go? Yeah, of course, man. It's and with the help from our team, with the help from our band, from our band, from the band. From like, honestly, I've never met someone who's given me such good advice than Rob, our manager. He's Rob and Dave. There's two of them. I feel bad now. I've left Dave out, haven't I? God, Dave's the one who came down from London as well. We did a video last week, which will be coming out soon, a live video. And Rob and Dave, the advice they give us is just like, I send them songs and they're constantly pushing me, and it's great. Honestly, if you came to see us live too, it was in October that Rob came to see us. Supporting a band called Himalayas, I think, and Rob came to see us, and that's when at the time he sat us down going, "Finn, you're not good enough yet, man. I'd get you off singing and playing rhythm guitar and get someone else to sing your songs." Mate, that was heartbreaking. And in less than 2 years, I've brung it round to the fact now that we've had Radio 1 play and he's got us. So I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but I'm saying like he's really helped me. And 2 years down the line, I don't know what else he's gonna help me do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I believe I'm forever moulding Mushroom.
How did you react when he said like your singing weren't good enough?
I rejected him at first. I thought he was an arsehole. I went to heebie-jeebies and got leathered afterwards. I sat on the steps with Miguel at the time going, he don't know nothing. Do you know what I mean? But he knew everything. He managed the cooks. He managed the Mama's Heads. He managed everyone. He managed, I think, an early, he knows everything. I was like, he don't know nothing. I'm going to prove him wrong. You know, like, do one of them Bohemian, Bohemian Rhapsodies and be like, I'm going to yoga one day, going to know who Finley Power is. The next day, 2 days later, I'm in his house and he's giving me advice and my tails in between his legs and he's like, do I think you've got the potential? Yes. And then about 6 months later, he came back and was like, yeah, you're a lot better. Still not good enough. And I sent him songs and he replied, good. But still not good enough. He was like, they're basic. And eventually I sent him, he always loved the song we had called Stupid, which will be coming out as Stone. He loved that song, that's why he's waiting for something. Stupid and I'm Not Evil. And eventually I sent him Leave It Out and he went, that's got good lyrics. I sent him Leave It Out, he's like, great. And I wrote more and I showed him the EP. And he's seen us live in London when we were like playing to Alan. And he was like, wow, I can work with that. He said, I can work with that. That's good. That's real. What I see on stage was real. That seemed like you. Being Finn, and I even tried to like move away from the band and try and be an acoustic singer, and he's like, stop trying to be something else. And it was like eventually came around and was like, yeah, you've got it now. And he's just giving me great advice. So we're just forever moulding as a band, forever learning new things, and we're open to criticism. That's the main thing, is to be open to criticism. Obviously, if someone like some old man comes and goes, who used to watch the Beatles in the cab and goes, I know everything about music, lads. You can giggle a little bit and be like, yeah, do you? But take advice off the people who know what they're on about. And be there. Like, even though I went back to Heebies afterwards and had a little bit like, I'm going to make it. I wrote a little song called Stay or Get Out the Way at the time. Even then, I knew deep down he was right. Do you know what I mean? I knew deep down he was right, and I've been able to take the criticism. I knew he was right. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's good that you can recognise like criticism yourself, because when we started, like we deleted like 2 of our first episodes because you listen back and you're just like, oh, what are you talking about? You know
just
what I mean?
me swearing me head off of our stupid things that you should have.
We done some episodes, didn't we, lad? We like about like.
You
have to go down after school or something. I was like, who are we to say that?
Oh, lads, you're like giving everyone advice, like preaching to everyone when no one knows themselves. Do you know what I mean?
We used to have like wanker of the day as well, didn't we?
Oh yeah, annoyance of the day or something. You're like something stupid as annoyed just that week. It's
arsehole of the century. That's me. Yeah, it's mad. You gotta learn, man. You just gotta keep trying. Do you know what I mean? Just like you go again. It's just be open, like just overcoming adversities. The best thing you can do. Do you know what I mean? It's and people who are open to criticism. And I try and give. There's some bands I've tried to give. Some bands now who really have a hard time with criticism. I can't name them. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to name names because I'm a good dude. But I've sat lads down and been like, really tried to give them the advice. And this is when 2 years ago, me trying to give advice, and I thought I knew a lot back then. And now, if I had myself 2 years ago, I'd be like, just listen. And now, even when Rob's giving me advice now, I'm like, come on, I'm doing a lot better now. Do you know what I mean? I'm myself. But I can imagine 2 years from now, when we're further ahead now, and Sarah's no longer 13. Do you know what I mean?
Stop.
So she's 18. We laugh.
I'm 19.
Oh yeah, you're 19. We're 21, so we all laugh.
Same age as you guys. Stop.
We just bust her. We just called. She's like a baby, and Alex is only 20 as well, isn't he?
Is he?
Elle's almost 22. Yeah, we've got a very wide range. Yeah, we were like, it was all planned out, Sarah. We were like, should we get some really old man in, or just like some 6-year-old? Yeah, it's yeah, you just gotta take the advice. Otherwise, like, you're not gonna get anywhere. Like, I've said this on Instagram Lives before. You can get 100,000 of your mates in your room to a mosh pit. Do you know what I mean? But you're gonna turn 20 and all those mates are gonna no longer care, and they're all gonna leave. Like this is what I realised. You can go and book a venue, like, and then get every single one of your pals down. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Every single one of your pals, they're wearing your t-shirts, but they ain't really fans. They're your mates, and they're gonna go eventually. Yeah. And you can claim, we're blown away by the support that we've got, but it ain't real. And that's what I came to. And I'm not sitting there saying to young bands, your fans aren't real. I'm saying what I did. Do you know what I mean? That's what I did, and that's what a lot of young bands are doing. And it's sad to say, and you might turn a nose up at me for saying this, because they might be like, oh, what do you know? Well, I've been 17 too, mate. Do you know what I mean? And I've been through it too. I'm not just sitting here some old 21-year-old lads, you know, with a grown a grey beard now saying me things like, I've been through it, and I've then turned up to being 19 and no one, like, our crowd's getting smaller, realising, wait, we ain't got no fans. So when we started Stone, actually now seeing a real fan base grow.
Yeah.
Like, we don't invite people to our shows no more. Like, and we've sold a lot of tickets for our headline show. We're knocking almost like up to 100 ways. And it's been lockdown. It's halfway to sold out almost, and it's like, it's going to be in February.
Where is that?
Phase 1, but we haven't because it was in Zanzibar, that closed down. So it's moving to phase 1.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So on the tickets sold, I could name about 4 people who've got tickets. The rest, I don't know. That's great. It's great. That's the good thing. That's the beauty of it. That now it's a natural audience. Do you know what I mean? And you've got to try and build a natural audience. You can get all your mates down, but after your mates come down, they're all going to stop coming eventually because they're
only there because you did like they probably wouldn't have went.
So eventually they can't be asked paying another $5 to come see you. Do you know what I mean? Just don't fake it, like I say. It's got to be real, because these big managers and these big labels will come down and they will smell it. They for some way, I don't know how Rob did it. I don't know how he does it, but he knew that I weren't Joy Division. I was putting the face on. He knew that I weren't that. He knew that I weren't real. I don't know how he did it. He knew that when things weren't real, and he knew even by a video of us our gigs that they weren't fans, they were friends. Do you know what I mean? These guys are trained. These guys are trained professionals at spotting talent, and you can have talent, but you've gotta be real. I sound like I know so much when I don't. I'm still learning. I'm just starting to get a bit of understanding of what it is, and another band will come in and tell you something different, and so I'm not right. I'm just maybe right for what I know, and no one else is wrong. So any bands who are looking to start, please don't hold my word to it, because you could get all your mates down the Universal signs here and I'll look like an absolute prick. So
I find it's better though.
You do you, but I'm just giving you my advice. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know when you get praise from someone you don't know?
Yeah.
It means more, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like my ma or my dad could say, "Oh, podcast was boss," and it's just a bit like nice one. But like, if someone else says it on Instagram,
I think your podcast is boss. Don't worry.
Nice one. If someone says it on Instagram DMs us that we don't know, it's a bit like, I'll say to you like, "Oh, I'm doing alright, that, isn't it?" Like, it's just different, isn't it? It's better with like you're reaching out a bit more, I find.
Yeah, I understand that. No, it's completely it's. And I have reached out. I will reach out to, like, I've seen bands live before, and I'm brutal. I'm so brutal because I believe this industry, you can't, like, everyone's been brutal with me. I've had, even from the age of 17, crap I got told by people around me, because I've showed my dad songs and he's turned around and gone, "It's shit. You sound like Oasis, son." Like, I've turned up to gigs and my dad's gone, like, come after the show and gone, "It's alright, Finn." Because my dad got told everything he was doing was shit when he was younger. No one sugarcoated me ever. I've done shows and I've turned around when I was 17 and they've gone, "You know, this guy doesn't move around the band that much. You know what, ain't this? This guy ain't that good. You look like you don't care. You kept blowing your nose into the mic, you knob." Do you know what I mean? Like, you kept sniffling down the mic, you know, just like, and my dad was doing all this, and he's like, "You're young," and no one was going, "Oh yeah." With me, it was the opposite. My family were telling me, my mum was telling me songs were wannabe. My mum's, she's a harsh man. I show her songs and she goes, "Not my favourite," all the time. So no one's given me, because they've all seen the industry and they know how hard it is. So I've seen young bands before, and I've gone up to a young lad before after he's played a gig, and I've gone, "Lad, you've got something, lad. You know, you've got a great voice, but your band ain't good. Your drummer just can't keep a beat. Yeah. Your bassist, like, don't know how to play bass."
That'll be a hard decision for someone though, especially if you mates with them or something.
And unfortunately, you've got it. Unfortunately, it's a brutal industry, man. And this is the sad thing I've got to say. Like, I understand it's your mates, but tell your mate to go and sit in front of a tempo for a bit longer. Do you know what I mean? And this is what I had to get told. That's what people come and told me. Go and tell your drummer to go and sit next to a tempo, sleep next to a tempo, and it was heartbreaking, because I've had to, like, relay these messages on from people who know what they're on about. Told me, do you know what I mean? It's hard, because I've gone to these young bands and it's hard for them to hear, but if it makes them skip a year from playing with a band who ain't good enough, or it makes their drummer or guitarist get their shit together and actually start focusing on what they need to do, then that's what needs to happen.
Do you not feel like you've set a very high standard for yourself because you've seen like what your dad's done?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe so. Maybe I've set too high of a standard. That's just me. Don't get me wrong, I don't go up to 17-year-old bands and go, "Your band's shit, lad, but you're sick." Yeah. No, I will say to bands though, like, you know, you've got something, lads, but you know, I think your band needs to be tightened up. You know, your drummer needs to play. You know, he needs to tighten up his drums. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stop focusing on swinging his hair around and start focusing on hitting the beats. Do you know what I mean? I'll say that to them. And I've met some young bands and who've come to our shows and they've asked me for advice, and whenever I talk to them, I'll have a pint with them, and they never walk away snarling the nose at me. They always walk away with like, wow man, that's great advice.
Yeah.
And I've had people, there's only one band who's ever snarled their nose at me for saying it. You'll know them if I said them. But it's everyone seems to be busy. Everyone says he takes the advice on board, and I always stress to them, I don't know anything. I'm not a genius. I don't know much more. I just know the fact that I'm a couple of years older than you. Do you know what I mean? And I've been through this. And older bands, they'll give me advice. See what I'm saying? Sometimes their advice I've already been told. Sometimes I think I know more than them, so I'll just listen and I don't argue with them. But it's just what you got to do to move on. What do you think of my advice, Sarah?
It's alright.
It's alright.
Do you find, like, obviously being like a woman, you get treated differently to the lads in the band?
I mean, it is kind of different being a girl, because I don't know, because it's like seeing you three are really tight together. And I remember you said when we first did like our first gig at the Cavern, well, when I played with you guys at the Cavern, and Elliot was getting right up in my face, and I was just like, I really enjoyed that, because it was like, yeah, oh my god, I'm getting close to the band. But I remember you said something like, oh, we shouldn't get up close because, you know, you're a girl. And I was just like, come on, I'm no different. I'm literally not a single bit different than any of you.
I just, look, it's the 21st century and I'm just trying to be careful. Do you know what I mean? Sarah's first gig with us, and she's only been in the band for a week, and our guitarist is like I'm like, bro, like, don't sweat on the new bassist. Do you know what I mean? Let's look. The guitarist was just getting into it. Do you know what I mean? At the time, I didn't. You understand that, don't you? I didn't know. And
you've got to be politically correct.
You've got to be politically correct, and you know, like I see Sarah like a sister to me now. Do you know what I mean? She's like my little sister. And and like, even when we do meetings, and probably the thing that I will say, maybe she gets treated for different, is I'll set the lads a lot more jobs. And with Sarah, I don't shout at Sarah. And maybe I feel like I'm being, should I shout at you more to be less sexist? Sarah! It's it, but I feel like I don't shout at her because I don't want to upset her. Do you know what I mean? And it's, because, you know, like, you're like my little sister in the band, do you know what I mean? My little sister's going to watch this and then get upset going, you shout at me, don't you? Yeah, but it's, she's only been in the band for a week, and I was like, but then I think now I really now I include you in the jokes, do you know what I mean? But like,
yeah,
we used to go on tour and we do some really stupid shit in the rooms, but there's some shit that now we couldn't obviously do in front of Sarah, because like I can't run around the hotel, I can't run around the room now, be undies wrapped around my head, do you know what I mean? Go like diving on Elliot when he's asleep, do you know what I mean? With my arse first, like I can't do that now. I don't know, we should cut that part out, but we'll see. Yeah, I can't run around like that, but
you know, after we played at Wind Factory, I went off to go find a couple mates in the crowd, and this guy came up to me and he was like, wow, that was great. And I was like, oh, thank you, oh, that's cool. And he was like, yeah, but you're a girl and you're a bassist. And I was just like, okay. And he was like, yeah, but you're a girl and you did that. I was like, what the hell, man? Just leave me alone.
Yeah, that's just rude, man. Don't put me, because like, I have 3 sisters. I lived all this year with 5 girls on my own.
Yeah.
I seem to get on with women pretty well. But I don't separate genders. So when I got Sarah, and then the lads were like, oh, do we get a girl? And I was like, if she rocks, man, she rocks. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, now I've started telling you off a bit, but I didn't know if it's, now I've started going, Sarah, have you recorded that bass line for the demo? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, do it. You know what I mean? I start being me tired and self, but it's good. And I don't think there's anything different. I think the only time when you first joined and Elliot got in your face, I was a bit like, just be careful, because I didn't know if you'd like that. You know, I didn't know.
I'm not bothered.
Yeah, but it was I only knew you for a week, didn't I? So
now watching that, you will be a bit like,
because I was there on stage and I was like, because I didn't know if Sarah would be like, I didn't know you like cleanliness or you didn't like this, and I was like, even if it was a new lad, because even if it was like a new lad, and I was like going, I didn't know. I was like, I didn't know you that well, and then you know, you're still this now. Now when we're on stage, we all like start tripping Sarah up. Do you know what I mean? We'll all start standing on her, we start pushing her off the stage.
Nice. Oh, I can't wait to get back gigging again.
Same.
I'm so
when do you reckon that'll be? You can release dates.
Someone asked Bill Gates, man. He's controlling this virus. That's a joke. I don't think that. Someone asked the 5G towers, which are emitting the coronavirus. We should knock them all down.
The pigeons with the batteries.
Yeah, no.
What's the weirdest thing you've seen at a gig so far? Or just in general, ever? Not ever. No, don't answer that.
I've seen some weird shit, like it's the weirdest shit at the gig. What's going on? You go first. I'll have to think on this one.
I don't know. I can't think either.
I guess it's Sean Ryder. Some bird got her tits out. She went, Sean. I've seen weirder though. Oh yeah, like you get the odd madman who starts coming up to you afterwards and goes like, I'm gonna get you signed. I've got connections. Sony Records, mate. I'm gonna get you signed. And he's there like swaying with like a glass of beer in his hand, and you're like, well, you lad, yeah. And you're in your head and you're half like, oh, lad, go away. But then in your head you're like, what was if he's just like, he does have connections and he's just rat-assed. Do you know what I mean? And he's like, lad, pass your number, lad, and I'll get you on the Jimmy Fallon show. And I'm like, he's like, he's my sister's best mate. He's my sister's boyfriend's mate over in America, in New York. And I'm like, yeah, lad, yeah. And this guy was one time after the show, this guy was like, I'm gonna send you to America. I'm gonna send you to LA. And like our guitarist I was like, we're not going to LA. Like, and our guitarist was there going, I've got A-level exams, can you work it around this? And I'm going, hell, we're not going to LA, lad. Just like, ignore him. I feel bad now, but like, you're always there, like, what was if this dude is just like proper connected, but like he's just there that one day in a Stone Island cap. Do you know what I mean? And his pretty green shirt, just swaying, and he just happened to like, just be there in Manny. It's chilling outside the Gorilla, do you know what I mean? Who knows?
Any other weird things you've seen?
I don't know how could it connect. When we were on tour, some weird stuff happened. And I met a bouncer who played the harmonica. Of some girl came into our Airbnb one time, and then that was a bit mad. She just came into our Airbnb one time, and then like we were like all there. She thinks she was off a bar. We were all just sitting there eating, about to go to bed. We had the gig the next day. She came, she just rocked in the door, and she was like, "I don't live with you guys. Why have you guys taken me home?" And we were like, "You just walked into our house." And we were like, "Do you want a glass of water?" And she was like, "No, I don't want your water." And I'm like, "Do you want to leave?" That was so strange. Yeah, there's just some weird things. There's some weird things in and out the bands. The weirdest thing was when ever was when I got abducted by aliens. So I talk about that. They took me up to the sky. Sarah's weirdest thing when she was born and realised she's from Oxford. Sarah has loads of plants in her house.
Oh yeah, I do.
She has loads of plants.
Like a jungle, yeah.
Like she's like a jungle.
Yeah.
She sprays them. She knits as well.
Yeah, I do.
You should knit them a 10-pint podcast.
Go for it, yeah.
Hell yeah.
She knits.
You can bang that out in an afternoon.
She can knit me some happiness as well. You can knit me a new good song as well. You can knit me a few bass lines as well. Yeah, she knits. And yeah, you can get your dad to come teach everyone to do jiu-jitsu.
Stop.
Yeah. The weirdest thing I've ever seen is when I came to the gig and Sarah couldn't be bothered playing, so she had her cheese plant there to play instead. No, that didn't happen.
What's the best gig you've done? Or your favourite? And where?
Rats.
Rats,
It was a belter show.
Yeah.
I'd say that I'll include Sarah. Yeah, the best show with Sarah.
That's a mad venue, that, isn't it? That
Wind Factory.
So sick. I love it in there.
Yeah. I was trying to impress my girlfriend that day. That was the first time she came to see us as well. One of the first times, and I was like, "Yeah, come see us in Wind Factory, man." Do you know? Yeah. Yeah, she see me and went, "You're such a weirdo on stage." And never told me to get another messing. We're together now. Yeah, that was a great show. Just because I just launched myself over the barrier. Just got to I just tried something and I just threw myself over the barrier, and for some reason I didn't break my legs. Gotta do what you gotta do, haven't you?
You do.
When do you reckon you'll have any new music out?
Go on, exclusive. Announce it.
Wait, what's the date today?
17th.
Less than 2 weeks from now there'll be a song out. What date is today?
What's the song called?
We haven't even announced it, have we?
You are now, you're doing it now.
We'll announce it. It's called Stay Silent. And then
Nice.
it's coming out on the 1st of September.
Oh, decent.
Can we cut that bit out? Yeah. Yeah, on the 1st of September, it's coming out, man. It's called Stay Silent. I think it fits in with what's going on today. I wrote that back in like September when Stone first started. And Stone only came out in October, didn't it? Stone started in October 2019 to 2020. We've had a great 10 months.
Wow.
Yeah, it's called Stay Silent. I would do that acoustically for you today, but I would do a different song.
Yeah, it's...
I don't know if to play the new song I've written.
Which one?
Hallelujah. Should I play that one?
Well, if you fancy.
I don't know. Rob will tell me not to though, because it's about like, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I should play it and then just get told off afterwards.
and I'm done then, innit?
Yeah, it's just done. I can do it. I'll just get told off afterwards. Just get that call going. Finn. Who knows? Because then we never released the song. Then I was like, "What's that one song?" And then let's be a 10-point podcast exclusive. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, or maybe I'll just play Leave It Else.
Yeah.
We'll see.
How'd you play that acoustically though? Because it sounds a bit...
You'll see.
We'll find
We'll
out.
find out, mate. You'll see, young Padawan. I will show you the ways of the warrior. You ever seen Raven? Yeah. Great. Belter, lad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Boss.
Got any more questions before we wrap it up?
Yeah, what's both of your favourite pints?
Ooh, I like a Guinness and blackcurrant.
Everyone
Don't judge
says
me.
Guinness. Everyone in the band says Guinness.
Guinness and blackcurrant. Or I like to mix me pints. I like a John Smith's with lemonade, top with lemonade.
Shandy then.
Yeah, it's John Smith's. Yeah, I have a bit of lemonade. Yeah, it's or I like an IPA. A Goose IPA.
Nice.
A Goose IPA is a real make.
Yeah.
If I plan to be something cheap, like, don't know,
Yeah, whatever.
toilet water. What's the cheapest pint you can get in spoons? Doom Bar.
Oh god, I don't even know what I like. Like, I've changed my mind literally in the last few months. Like, I used to be like a proper like, yeah, I'll have a pint of cider, but now it's just like, oh, I kind of like a bit of lager now.
I drink cider. Don't tell no one though.
Do you think what type of cider? Apple?
Just put, yeah, like granddad cider, like proper
Oh.
apple cider.
Mate.
Oh, I love like
Mate,
that
that's just
haze.
asking. Whenever I drink cider, mate, I just start butting walls and spewing everywhere. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's why I don't drink cider. When I drink cider, it's aliens abduct me. I feel like we could have got more wacky in the podcast, but
Are you an alien? Because you mentioned aliens a lot, you know. What planet are you from?
me.
Yeah.
Ah, God. You're gonna make some conspiracies here, are we?
Oh.
What planet am I from?
I don't know.
Won't shut up. Won't shut up. Mars. I don't know. From somewhere pretty far away, mate. Somewhere where they just ramble, where the aliens just don't shut up. Yeah, some crazy planet where we can say like 600 words in a minute. Yeah. Skemsdale, that's the planet I'm from. Scunthorpe, mate. I'm from that planet. Scan of the planet of Scunthorpe. No disrespect to Scunthorpe or Skemsdale. I'm getting battered now, aren't I, by someone from Skemsdale?
So you have to like, don't go. Do you go there often?
Nah.
Exactly. Don't think anyone wants to do
When I
that.
play a gig there, I'm just going to get rolled up on, aren't I?
So that was Stone. This episode's sponsored by Oz Clothing. What's your social media? Shout
Stone
out.
Liverpool. STONE. Liverpool.
Yeah, so thanks a lot for that. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This one is a new one, but it has no name yet, so... Please relax and bring me a cup of tea so I can clear my head. I can begin to see that last night it got kinda out of hand. I acted in a way I got no legs to stand. Here I was, drunk and walking down the street. Next thing my friend shouts the names of the oncoming police. Before I know he's against the wall, placing cuffs. I grab my phone to record, next thing I'm being scruffed. Let me out now, oh can you set me free? These complications, they come around to nail me. Why did I run? I knew I'd never get away. Oh, I can't stand it. I wanna be at home. This room feels like I'm pending. Can you let me go? Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Vodka shots just turned me back into a teen. I shouldn't drink no more, time to cut it clean. I was grabbed and told not to film police. I hear them shattering, doing for D&D. Leave me alone, I haven't done a crime. You prey on lads like me to mess up all the time. I moved away, walked towards them in the van. Scream fuck off at the top of me lungs, then I grabbed me phone and ran. Now I'm out of breath, oh boy I cannot breathe. Need to find somewhere where they won't see me. I get caught and then I'm lost into the van. Oh, I can't stand it, I wanna be at home. Room feels like I'm bending, can you let me go? Hallelujah, da-da-da-da-da-da. Hallelujah, da-da-da-da-da-da. I wake up in the cell and I realise, you know, right, I'm losing it. I wake up in the morning and I realise, you know, I'm losing it. So I keep my cool. I keep myself locked up so I know what to do. When I wake up in the morning I realise, you know, I'm losing it. Solo. Thank you very much.